Have you ever seen a vampire? Forget whatever you've seen in the movies. It's not like they're seducing everybody in sight with cheesy Eurotrash accents, all right? They don't turn into bats. Crosses don't work. You want to kill one, you drive a wooden stake right through his heart. We think we got a nest inside this place. And chances are we'll find a master in here somewhere.
I know your parents were bitten by vampires and you were raised by the church to be its master slayer.
No one knows vampires better than he does.
Open wide, baby.
But he met his match when he met the master who started it all, Jack Crow.
He was a priest. It's the first known case of vampirism.
The first and most powerful. You are the only one who faced Alec and survived.
The master vampire has a telepathic link with his victims. You're gonna help us find them.
It's a cross.
For 600 years, Valak has wanted to live in the daylight. A master vampire able to walk in the sun, unstoppable.
Biggest nest of blood drinking mothers the world has ever known. Time to kill some vampires.
Step behind us! Come on! Come on!
You can't kill me. James Woods. From the master of terror comes a new breed of evil. John Carpenter's vampires.
You never told me they could do that.
I didn't know they could do that.
And what is up, motherfuckers? Woo! This is Lord Scuba Cabra here, coming to you today on episode 170 of the Gore and More motherfucking podcast. And as you can tell, our Fluff Master Supreme, who's not so mean, is not with us today. He's got some stuff he's dealing with at home. We love you, Big Johnny D. We love you.
Yeah, we miss you, buddy.
Very much.
And this is fucking weird for me. We were talking about this right before we jumped on. How this is gonna be fucking weird. But I can't do this show without my buddies over here. Right here we have the Dark Lord of Knowledge himself, Mr. Chad Christman, aka Chad Daddy. What's up, baby?
What's up, bitches?
And right here down below me,
Anytime, baby, anytime.
is the Meat Mountain himself, Bobby Money. How's it going, baby?
Happy New Year. Drinking up, boys.
Happy New Year, guys.
So before we get started, before we say anything about what we're doing today, I just want to give a little moment of silence to one of the greats that we lost. Raise our drinks, whatever you're drinking, fellas. Here's to you, Betty White. We love you. We're going to miss you.
And if she had a dick, this is where she'd tell us to suck it.
This is where she would tell us to suck it, baby.
I am so sorry she was not around for us to do our Lake Placid episode.
Yeah.
The woman was 17 days away from turning 100. But hey,
Well-
99 is...
Well, here's the thing, though. Because she was 99 years old, she lived through so many leap years.
24 leap years.
So that adds that many extra days. So she's technically well over 100.
Yep.
Even though she didn't make it to her 100th birthday, numerically, she did. So rest in peace, Betty White. We're going to miss you, baby.
Absolutely.
But before we get into anything, I think we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it right now. And it is now time for your Slice of Life. Chad Daddy, kick it off.
Well, it's just been another normal week here. Worked 4 days last week. I didn't have the luxury of taking time off, unlike some people in this podcast.
Well, whatever.
But it was still a 3-day weekend, which isn't bad. Did not do much. We was actually in Butler on Friday, which is Mr. TJ Bowser's neck of the woods.
Oh, nice.
But we didn't stop and visit, didn't stop and chit chat because we were just trying to get things done and get back home real quick. So it was just a quick day out with the wife and kiddos. We had to take some stuff back to Target that we got from Christmas. That was broken and stuff that didn't work. So we took that back, got our money back. Not much. Aside from that, had a pretty quiet, calm New Year's Eve here at home. Just me, the wife, and the kids. Funny thing is, the kids, I don't know how you guys are. And Bobby, obviously you don't have kids, but mine, they don't sleep. Like, they were up, they saw the ball drop, they were up for like an hour afterwards. It was crazy. So I had to deal with wired kids till about 2 in the morning. Then they finally went to sleep. Then we finally went to sleep. What else happened? Oh, okay, so get this. I got off of the site Mercari. Somebody was selling, sorry about that. Somebody was selling a lot of Gremlins, NECA Gremlins figures. So I ordered, there were 3 of them for $26. And here's the funny thing. So they came in today.
Lucky bastard.
This one is a Stripe Gremlin without the mohawk.
All right.
This one, I don't know how well you could see it, but there's ink markings all over the body. I've been wiping it down with alcohol. It's coming right off, so that's not a pretty big deal. But this one is hilarious because, let me see if you can zoom in here. He has no teeth.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, somebody broke
took his teeth out. Nice. Well, I mean, yeah, but for $26, you can't.
$26. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
You can't argue that's a pretty good price.
I mean, it's a Stripe without the mohawk. I already have a striped Gremlin anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I figure I'll do a little bit of customization on some of them, figure out what I'm going to do. But yeah, 3 of them for $26. Can't argue with that.
Not bad at all. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I need to jump on Mercari.
The only bad thing is that they did not come with any accessories, but I got the Ultimate Flasher Gremlin last Christmas, which comes with tons of accessories.
Yep.
So I'm not worried.
Any of the other NECAs that you pick up too, if you decided you want to start collecting the Gremlins, they come with tons of accessories that you're never going to use.
Dude, they have an accessory pack still coming out this year.
Yes, they do.
Even more.
No.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a little fun with them, see what I can come up with. But
nice.
I think I've been rambling on long enough. Mr. Bobby Amoni, how about you, brother?
Oh, I also had a very quiet New Year's Eve. Literally, found out Betty White died all night. I was watching Golden Girls. Yes,
nice.
I watched Golden Girls, and that was I had 2 drinks. Excuse me. Oh, needed that. I had 2 drinks, and I was watching Golden Girls all night, passing out, trying to stay awake and watch the ball drop. So basically woke up for the ball drop, got on the phone with my girlfriend because she's sick with COVID. My mom's downstairs, and we're watching the ball drop. I'm like, okay, Happy New Year, love you, good night. That's exactly what I did. I went right upstairs and hit the pillow, and I'm like, woke up the next day. I'm like, oh, so this is what 2022 feels like. No fucking different. Not yet, anyway. Well, a little bit, but other than that, it was very quiet. I was doing cosplay work yesterday. I was working on my new Michael Myers suit, and then this week I'll start working on the Jason, and I got to get some measurements to Mr. Lance McKinney, who does custom masks. I got to get some measurements to him for straps. I'm a little behind on that, and then try to work on a few other things because setting up some shoots February forward. So that's what's going on here. And then I got to start lining up some episodes of Machine Shop, hopefully coming within the next week, I'm hoping. So I got to get in touch with some people and get that shit going. But other than, and my other goal is to get, I've made it a goal, is to get Spider Gremlin in the box, nice and pristine.
Yes, that's one of my goals as well. Good luck.
Yeah, that's going to be an expensive
Monster Mania is in March, and I'm willing to bet I will find someone who is willing to work with me.
I'm sure you will, and I hope you do. But I'm going to be so envious of you if you do. Just know that.
Are you kidding me? That Monday after, I'm going to be like, this is what the episode's about here. This is what the episode's about. But other than that, life's been all right. Mr. Lord, Scuba, give me a rundown of what you're doing.
Well, it was my last week of vacation, so I just kind of vegged out. I started streaming on my Twitch again. So if any of you are on Twitch, this is a shameless plug right here for my personal Twitch channel at Scuba Steve CC. I am currently playing The Witcher 3. Never played the game.
Nice.
I've heard all great things about it. A friend of mine actually plays it, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to jump on it, check it out, see what it is. Because I did play it for like 20 minutes the first time I bought it. And it just did not click with me. Now that I'm already level 10 and I've done all these, quests, I'm digging this game. It's actually what I'm going to do as soon as we're done streaming here. So that was my last week of vacation. New Year's, I was at the bar. I had to work. Very slow. It was, you would think that bar business is banging on New Year's. Not so here in Texas, really. There's
Really?
Oh no, ladies and gentlemen. Look who we have here.
Oh,
Can we get a round of applause for the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, TJ Bowser? Hello. How's it going, baby?
Pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I had a Zoom meeting for that VR Troopers thing.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
We're just into the slice of life portion right now.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I worked at the bar on New Year's Eve, came home and I was not feeling the bar this weekend at all. So I just kind of kept to myself and, was there, and that was it, man. And then went back to work today, completely forgot how to do my job and what the hell I did. And so that was very, very, important part of my day was relearning my job because there was a lot of stuff that I forgot how to do. So, but that was pretty much it. My son did get me a late Christmas gift this week, and I was really shocked at how cool this bad boy is right here.
Goliath turned out so good. I can't wait for the other ones.
Oh my God. And his figure is huge.
That is big. Jesus
so
Christ.
Big. I was like, wow. He was like, I know you said you liked that show when you were a kid, and I didn't remember which gargoyle you said.
What was the big one? Was that Hudson? The big one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And he actually named one of his lizards after Bronx. He had a little gecko or something that he ended up naming Bronx because he had seen the show. I had shown him a couple of episodes when he was little. But yeah, so that was really cool. I was like, that's pretty much the coolest Christmas gift that I got.
Nice.
So what about you, boss man? What have you been up to? Come on, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I actually got a really cool Christmas gift in the day. You know what? I'll get us banned and I'll show you guys a funny sticker on here that has nudity.
Hey.
Sasquatch ripping off a penis.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
Yeah, so I got my full core box set in from Severin as well as Preta Durango 4K and a Night of the Demon. But that's what that lovely sticker's from is Night of the Demon. I can't wait to watch that movie. It's video nasty, and it's the first time in this awesome HD transfer, so I can't wait. But anyway, yeah, just been collecting movies and doing podcasts. LC's on a little break ski right now until season 4 starts. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And it's the new year, so new podcasts are on their way, and yeah, working on stuff, getting stuff moving. Let's talk about fucking vampires, boys.
Let's fucking do it. You want to take it from here, boss?
Yeah. So this week's film is John Carpenter's Vampires, released October 30th, 1998. And the plot is Jack Crow is a professional vampire slayer played by James Woods, employed by the Catholic Church to hunt down and destroy nests of bloodsuckers one night after a successful hunt. The master vampire of all, Jan Valak, slaughters the entire team of slayers, leaving only Jack, his partner Montoya, and prostitute Katrina alive. Okay, so Montoya is Baldwin's brother?
Baldwin, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Katrina looks familiar as well.
That's
seen
Laura
Twin
Palmer.
Peaks? Okay.
That's Laura Palmer.
Yeah, Laura Palmer. Yeah.
Shit. Okay. However, Katrina has been bitten and now serves as Jack's psychic link to Valak. Now Jack must find out what Valak wants while teaming up with Father Adam, while also trying to solve who sold him out and why. It soon becomes evident that the vampire master is after his black cross that may make him more powerful than ever, culminating in a showdown worthy of the finest Western. Jack and a small team will fight for their lives against their most terrifying foe they've ever encountered. As we stated earlier, directed by John Carpenter, who also did They Lived, The Thing, and Halloween. Written by Don Jacoby, who also did Life Force and Arachnophobia. Oh, yeah. That movie's terrifying. Based on the novel Vampires, and that is S with a money sign, baby.
Yeah.
Produced by Sandy King, who also did They Live in the Mouth of Madness, a Brody Kane favorite.
Love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I fucking love that movie.
As we stated previously, starring James Woods, as you know him from David Cronenberg's Videodrome, Cat's Eye. Is that a Stephen King adaptation?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Family Guy, James Woods High.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Piece of candy.
Jack Crow. Daniel Baldwin, the one who's not under a ton of scrutiny, who started Night Moves, Homicide: Life on the Street, as Tony Montoya. You know, he does a pretty good character in this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very memorable Baldwin performance here. Cheryl Lee, you may know her as Dead, wrapped in plastic. Sorry. From Twin Peaks or Wild at Heart, where she's also killed and then dead alongside of the road. But as Katrina. And then Tim Guinea, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, starred in Strange World and The Good Wife as Father Adam Gintao.
No, that's
Guccio?
Guccio.
Yeti.
Okay. Getty. Thomas Griffith. You may know him from Karate Kid Part 3, Cobra Kai as Jan Valek. Oh,
okay.
He's in Cobra
So
Kai?
here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. I have seen this fucking movie so many goddamn times. I just finished watching Cobra Kai season 4 yesterday. Okay.
Mhm.
So as I'm watching Vampires, I'm like, that's not Terry Silver,
Yes,
is it?
it's
And
not
I was like,
Terry
holy
Silver,
shit,
no.
that's fucking Terry Silver. How was I just yesterday years old when I fucking realized that Terry Silver is Valak?
Fuck are they?
The good
Maximilian Schell from Deep Impact as Cardinal Alba. Mark Boone Jr. from Batman Begins and Son of Anarchy as Catelyn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gregory Sierra from Barney Miller Soap and Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Now, which one is that? That's the second one, right?
Yep.
That's whenever he goes in the fucking cave.
Yeah, with the
Okay.
psychics and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And holy fuck, I'm going to try it. Kari Haruki Tagawa, who also was in Mortal Kombat and Lost in Space. Which one?
The TV series, the Netflix series.
Ah, the new one.
Yes.
Okay. As David Dio. See, the only Lost in Space I remember is the one that had the guy from Friends in it.
Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
LeBlanc. Yeah, I remember that one. I never watched the series though.
Yeah.
See, I watched I started out watching the old stuff back when I think it was USA Network was showing the repeats. I think I was probably like 12 or 13 when I started watching it. So my first experience was the original stuff. Then I saw the movie. The movie, nyeh.
Save Family Robinson. That stuff. Yeah. Music by John Carpenter, who also scored things such as Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China. Cinematography by Gary Kibb, who also did Body Bags. That's the film where you see Mark Hamill's ball bag and RoboCop 3. Edited by Edward Warshikla,
Yeah, there you go. Warshikla.
Warshikla, who also did Child's Play 3 and 13 Ghosts. Effects makeup done by K&B. You know what they did. Distributed by Sony Pictures, who recently did that amazing Spider-Man movie.
Oh my god! I just realized
you misspelled pictures.
Yes.
Pictures. Sony Pictures.
I just noticed that.
You catch that new Sony Pictures movie? It's pretty good. Run time of 108 minutes. Okay, MPAA rating of R. Budget $20 million. Grossed $20.3 million.
But it was financially successful. It made a ton of money in Japan, apparently.
And it got a sequel with Bon Jovi, right?
That
was
sequels.
fucking terrible.
2 sequels, didn't it? Aren't there 2?
I
could have
No,
swore there was
one.
I could have swore there was
Los
2
Muertes,
sequels.
right? It's on Amazon Prime now.
I can
That's
only think of
absolutely-
one. I know From Dusk Till Dawn got 2 sequels, but I don't know about this one.
Terrible. We cannot.
Yeah,
talk
it's
about that
horrible.
Shit
It's
piece
horrible.
of a movie.
But they still managed to get John Carpenter's name attached, which would have sold like a motherfucker in VHS land.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's also because it's directed by Tommy Lee Wallace too.
But we'll forgive him.
Yeah.
Some
All
Boys!
right,
surgery.
so let's generally discuss this bastard of a film.
I had this on DVD.
Yeah.
I had this on DVD at a young age, and me and my younger brother, my middle brother, Devin, used to watch this all the time. And this is kind of, I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is fucking awesome. And it really introduced me to James Woods and made me fall in love with James Woods. So yeah,
This is one of those bro films because my best friend and I watched this movie on VHS religiously almost every Saturday. I would walk over to his house. I would take my VHS copy and we would watch it just because we fucking love the movie. My dad and I used to watch the hell out of this movie. This was one of my dad's favorite movies, hands down. He also loved Underworld. You know, my dad was like me. He loved a lot. I like the shit I like because of my dad. And this is, I mean, damn, man, this is such like a film that you can just put on with your bros and just sit there and watch and be like, fuck yeah. Like, this is such a damn good movie.
It's such a testosterone builder. It's not even funny.
Yes.
Like, the first time I saw this, I saw it on TV. So I DVR'd it and I watched it every day for I don't know how many times in a row. And then when I got the DVD and I'm like, oh, there's all this extra stuff in here that I didn't know existed. I'm like, this is way better. This is easily my favorite vampire movie, hands down. Hunter, vampire hunter, whatever you want to call it, Steve. Whatever gets your dick hard, I'm fine with that.
He's about the subgenres. Let the man love subgenres.
That's what I'm saying.
It's my favorite vampire hunter and vampire movies. One, because the hunters are, well, they're savage. And two, the vampires are not, oh my God, I'm lonely. I want to have a... So fuck off, you're a savage, you son of a bitch.
No, a Valak
Vampires are savages. That's what they should be. And they did perfect with this movie. And I stand by that. And yes, including Dracula. I stand by this is better for me than Dracula. But of course, I still love Dracula. But this is my favorite.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said in our chat earlier, I can't say it's my favorite vampire movie, but I will say it's my favorite vampire hunter movie because it focuses more on the hunter aspect as opposed to the vampire aspect of the film. So for me, I mean, I can't say it's my favorite vampire movie because I don't want to put anything above this film.
What would you put above it?
For me, I mean, okay, so, and I don't care. Lost Boys will always be my favorite vampire movie.
That's acceptable.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know,
for that.
But that is vampire. Granted, the Frog Brothers are hunters, but it doesn't focus on them the way this film focuses on Jack Crow, you know, and his team.
Yep.
We get the backstory of how they're working for the Catholic Church and how the Catholic Church has these other teams that are going on. You know, and I think that's what set this film apart from really any other film up until that point, because in other films we get that there's, you know, vampire hunters, there's people that hunt vampires, but this was more of like a Catholic religion type thing that the Catholic Church knew about these, you know, these demons that they created and now have a team put in play.
Pretty much.
Does that work?
Did you have a soundboard?
I got the soundboard
you
working, boys.
Son of a monkey's uncle.
Okay, I was just making sure it's working.
Yeah, I heard it earlier.
No,
but
it's
I wasn't
working.
Sure. Yeah, I heard it earlier and I was unsure. So I didn't say anything. I just played it off a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, buddy. Oh,
now that I like.
no.
That's great.
But yeah, so I love this film.
The funny thing is, I saw this when it first came out in theaters with my my buddy, a couple other friends. We saw it. I think I've maybe seen it one other time before last night. It's not a film I watched a lot.
Who's got the physical release from Scream Factory? Anybody else other than me?
No, I just have the regular DVD.
I'm gonna go dig in the movie closet. Be right back.
I have the regular DVD and I have the VHS. I still have my VHS copy, my original VHS copy. I still have it.
Nice. I have to get this. I have to get the Scream Factory edition, but I've had the regular DVD for years.
Yeah,
but I will say this is a pretty fun movie. It's got a lot of great one-liners. James Woods is just absolute gold in this film.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the one-liners are on fucking point.
Yeah, I gotta order that
Nice.
this week.
And that cover does not lie.
No.
Yeah, that's everything it is, and then a bag of chips.
And just like the trailer for this film sets up the movie fucking perfectly. Like I was getting hyped watching the trailer. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice thing, is that the trailer did not sell a different movie from what we saw. It sold it perfectly.
Very nice.
It didn't lie to us like some of the other more recent movies.
It's a horror western.
Yes.
Which a western alone it's what
Western
Carpenter wants to do in general.
Would you consider Western in like story, the way the story progresses, or
way
just
it's
more setting and then like tonal?
Both.
Setting it. Well,
I would say all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above
because that's exactly what Carpenter was aiming to do.
Especially setting and tonal, because you have these small towns. You know what I mean? That
it's a classic revenge story, and I think that revenge stories, I'm just classically cinematically tend to go with the Western genre. So I think that combining a revenge story is easy whenever you do that with horror and that more Western thing. So like you guys said, like Chad said, it's all of the above. It's a good combination of both genres. It's only that John Carpenter can do. Honestly, I don't think any other directors really have perfected the horror Western.
That's because they just don't like to touch it, because Westerns have been
That's all well and good, boys, but Katie's cutting in.
Snip fucking snip.
Well, howdy motherfucking doody there, gentlemen. It is I, your DKB, here back for another episode of Gore and More, and this week I'm here to talk to you about John Carpenter's Vampires, and what a fucking doozy of a film to kick the New Year's off with. This absolutely underrated and underappreciated horror fucking gem. I mean, what more can I say about this film other than the fact that it's absolutely fast-paced of action, horror, mayhem. I mean, what more could I ask for in a fucking movie like this? But I will elaborate a little bit more on this film, and I will start off with our director himself, Mr. John Carpenter. Now, I think at this time in his filming career, I think he just wanted to sort of make a film, that was, obviously fast-paced with a lot of horror, but just have fun with it. Have fun with it, not take it too serious. And I think he absolutely accomplished that. I think it's definitely a film that anyone could watch and appreciate it for the style of film that it actually is and was meant to be. And, I mean, overall, the script, it's a very basic script, but visually he was able to entertain me and give me what I needed and fulfilled what I wanted in a vampire, let alone horror film. So, yeah, hats off to John Carpenter to do that. Now, James Woods in this film, one badass motherfucker with his one-liners and quick-witty dialogue. He's a ruthless son of a gun. I love it. His presence, every time it graces the screen, I can't help but I can't help but just fucking watch everything. Watch everything that he does. It's absolutely great to watch, especially his chemistry with the other actors that surround him. I think they just feed off each other extremely well. Like I was saying before, the violence in this film is awesome. Maybe a little bit over the top, but who gives a fuck? This film, fuck yeah. And he brought an A game to that, and practical effects all the way, baby. That's all I say. Action. Yeah, like I said, I think the editing had something to do with that. It's just quick pace, non-stop, fast, pedal to the metal. It's just, like I was not bored once watching this film. Cinematography, like, it's very basic. It definitely feels like, it had me feeling like this was a little bit like Escape from LA, whether it was the lighting or some of the camera shots, at night. Like Mr. Carpenter likes to do these really low Dutch tilt fucking angle shots of like our lead actors and villains and stuff. And you can definitely tell that they're kind of influenced in that same sort of world, I guess. I don't know. It's just a trademark thing that Mr. Carpenter must do. But yeah, other than that, like I said, if you've not seen this film, I highly recommend it every day of the goddamn week. Yeah, this film is fucking awesome. What more can I say? So anywho, this is DKB giving it a Gore and More score of a 4.3. And I look forward to hearing you guys talk more about this film. Cheers, gentlemen.
Oh, 4.3 is
bro.
not bad.
All
I
right.
will say.
Excellent timing on that too, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I will say. Certainly was.
I try.
You succeeded.
So, but yeah, I mean, what other thoughts do you guys have on this film, Bobby?
This was I'll just be real. I'm a Carpenter fan, but this was the last Carpenter movie.
The last great Carpenter movie.
No. It was the last movie. Ghost of Mars doesn't count. That's an absolute shit. I don't associate him with that movie. That was terrible.
Hey, isn't it called John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars, though?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. No, this was his last film. He was ready to leave Hollywood before he even made this.
Yep.
And I mean, Chad will probably go, and then they asked him, "What do you think?" And he says, "Yeah, okay." And he went and wrote it with different pieces from this script, and the book, and then that was it. And this is what we got. And he went through quite a few guys to get this lead role, and James Woods is what stood out to him.
That's what she said.
Different story. But yeah, I mean, come on. What else can we say? There's nothing else to say other than it's fucking great. I got nothing else.
Yeah, no argument here. Like I said, it's a real fun ride. As far as vampires, it's a bit different from your normal vampire movie. And they were trying to go, a step away from the whole gothic vampire thing and basically show them as brutal, bloodthirsty maniacs, which is the way they want it to be. And that also showed that the hunters themselves are also kind of maniacal in their own way, because to fight a monster, sometimes you have to become a monster.
Yep. And that's the one thing I give Jack Crow is he was fucking brutal, man. The way he would stab the hell out of those vampires. I mean, there's the one scene where he's just fucking just like, come on, you know what I mean? And he's still talking, so it's kind of comical, you know what I mean? But he's just like, you fucking bitch, and I love this movie so much. And I feel like this movie is what every vampire movie should be if you're gonna focus on the hunter aspect of it.
And I love how the hunters celebrate their victory afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, booze and hookers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
you're with your boys hunting monsters all day. How are you going to celebrate your win?
So wait, is it safe to say? Did you get a little mahogany? Did you get a little teak wood?
Oh yeah, mahogany.
Did you get a little maple in there? A little sap dripping from the tree.
Yeah, James Woods' ad-libbing in this film is just absolutely unparalleled, and it just creates a very unique and memorable character. I mean, if you take all of his characters and just put them in a hat, I mean, this one's just going to stand out every day. It's awesome. He got to play a character that he didn't ever get to play in a movie before, and that is that awesome badass with the one-liners. And before, he kind of got to do that in the movie The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox, where he plays a cop, but not on this level where the leather jacket and the squad of cronies and stuff. I just think that this is James Wood at his absolute peak. And this is, because he's older in this movie, but he's not too old. He's just believable to be as badass as he is. But also with that, he has that experience. So he's that far enough in his acting career where he just fucking owns that role. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's not, overly, muscular or this big fucking roided out lead character.
No, he's believable.
He's normal looking.
He's believable. He's a regular everyday guy who was raised to murder these things that murdered his family, and it works so well. This is such a great watch. Anybody in here that has not seen this flick, anybody listening, watch it.
What's really interesting is I'm sitting here watching it last night, and I realized that this would fit extremely well in the supernatural universe even.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like anybody's seen Supernatural, you think of this, and it's like, well, they're a lot like the Hunters in Supernatural. This almost goes hand in hand. Like this could very much exist in the same universe, which is a little bit of differences.
Yeah. Well, shall we take a peek behind that curtain, Chad Daddy?
Hold on, I got a transition.
Oh,
give me the cross. This cross. Let me just ask you one thing. After 600 years, how's that dick working? Pretty good?
Oh, I fucking love that line.
You have got to be kidding me. Hey guys, have you seen look at the group chat. And look at the picture that Big Johnny D sent.
Oh Jesus.
Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese.
You see, how does He even showed us that he cleared the episode description, and it still popped up.
What the hell?
That's weird.
There's got
I'll have to
something's got to be up because that should not be on there.
No, and it's not here either.
It's not
in the thing.
It is so weird. I don't know why it keeps popping up. But while we're trying to solve that mystery,
found it.
What we got?
You found it.
Oh, you figured it out?
Yep.
Where's it at?
So when you go in there first, you have to go into Facebook.
Oh,
like the settings at the
you have
top
to change
there
it in
where it says
Facebook.
edit. Yeah, you have to go in and hand edit all of the things. Yeah, even if YouTube, you have to do it. You just even have to fill it in with the space, or it won't let you edit it.
That's some bullshit.
That is weird. That you have to actually put like a space.
I just fixed it. Quit! Don't fuck with it anymore, Steve.
I didn't know. First
If
of all,
his name comes up next week, then it is his
Look,
fault.
No, I have no idea how that got there because I only edit the things that are here on Restream. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, so despite being a horror movie, John Carpenter stated on the audio commentary that he did this movie because it closely resembled a Western to him.
Yep.
Nice.
He actually had a good working relationship with James Wood on the set. Apparently, Woods has a reputation for being difficult to work with because of how much he likes to improvise. So Carpenter got along with him just fine. They had a deal. Carpenter could film one scene as it was written. The other, Woods could improvise. Carpenter found, to his delight, that many of Woods' suggestions were brilliant.
Of course, because James Woods is a fucking legend and a stand-up guy.
So if most of his stuff is improvised, you got to wonder how much his appearances on Family Guy were also improvised.
I guarantee that whole thing.
They probably didn't even give him a script; just let him go. Because
Yeah, they just were like, "Go for it, you're James
Here,
Woods.
have a piece of
at
candy,
it."
would you?
Ooh, piece of candy. Now, Bobby, see if you know this. Who was Carpenter's first choice to play Montoya?
I was going to say, I know who was the first few choices for Jack Crow. Montoya. Actually, I don't know this one.
Bruce Campbell.
Oh,
really?
No shit.
That would
have been weird.
You know what the problem is?
Really weird.
It wouldn't have taken away from his performance because then it would have been those characters having to constantly go off of each other, and I think this allowed James to shine. I'm kind of happy it's not Bruce.
Yeah, I will. As much as I like Bruce, I don't think
Baldwin does a good job being a supporting character. For him.
Yeah, because I just feel like Campbell would maybe overshine.
If you're gonna have Bruce Campbell in a movie, use him like they do in Maniac Cop. Put him at the end.
Yes.
Hey guys, heads up! Heather just texted me the Facebook video cut out, so I wonder if we got flagged for that Bigfoot penis.
Maybe.
Way to go, TJ.
Oh,
hey, he called it. He called it. Okay, so continuing on, just before production began, the studio cut the budget by 2/3, and the filmmakers had to furiously rework the story to fit. According to John Steakley, the man who wrote the original novel, the finished film contained much of his dialogue, but none of the plot.
You know, I'm curious as to what that book is. I gotta find it now.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Gene Siskel enjoyed the film and James Woods in such a radical departure from his usual fare, so much he suggested that Woods be nominated for an Oscar for his performance in this film.
Wow.
I mean,
it is good.
Yeah. Not wrong.
If I remember correctly, Roger Ebert also liked it, but he didn't love it, so it wasn't like panned by these guys, unlike most of the other films we review on this show.
This is true. This is very true.
Oh, by the way, TJ, Steph told me the other day she hates to agree with you, but she absolutely loved Jack Frost.
Yeah, it's great.
She's like, I hate to admit it, but yeah, she's like, it was really good. She definitely enjoyed it. She enjoyed it more than I did, that's for sure. For this film, John Carpenter wanted to stay away from the stereotype of gothic vampires and wanted to make his vampires savages and not be brooding loneliness in their existence. They're too busy ripping and tearing humans apart.
He says that and then uses the gothic idol at the end to kill him. Makes sense.
Yeah, but
he was the vampires themselves weren't gothic. Like,
I don't know. Gallic was pretty goth.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, homeboy looked like a diet crow.
Yeah, but he's not.
But
He's
they
not
weren't
like.
wrapped up in loneliness.
But he's not like Interview with a Vampire Gothic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but his clothing kind of. I mean, other than the trench coat being like a new age trench coat, but he had like the lacy shit underneath.
Is it the question though? Begs: is it unavoidable to draw a Gothic comparison with the vampire story?
I think it is almost unavoidable
because of the cross and everything else. It's the setting
Yeah.
that's required to have that type of story arc. You know, it
is very unavoidable.
And I think that all stems from actually probably all the way back to the original Dracula stage play, back when before the first film was even made. That was kind of a product of its time, and it just kind of carried over. Everybody just kind of adapted that.
The act of vampire hunting is Gothic.
Yeah.
Look, when you
it actually is.
When you take the Gothic out of vampire films,
it's the tools.
You get Twilight.
Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Onward and upward now.
Although I would say, if anything, two things would definitely update the whole vampire hunting thing are Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Supernatural. They take a less Gothic approach to the whole vampire hunter thing.
Blade.
Ooh,
yeah, Blade.
Ooh, good call. Which also came
Blade
out this
urbanizes
year,
it.
So, it also came out that same year as this.
It's a different. There's two different takes on the genre. It's a Western and an urban version. It's
yeah. But they both work, and they both work very well for the time.
Yes, but continuing on, this was the film that convinced John Carpenter to stay in directing. He felt burnt out after a string of critical and financial failures. John Carpenter said he lost his love for filmmaking and was heavily considering going into retirement following the failure of Escape from L.A. because, in his words, it stopped being fun. However, I enjoyed Escape from L.A. It's not as good as his other
film
work,
suffers
it's
from
not
the
bad.
budgetary constraints, and you can tell it on screen.
If they go back and fix that CGI, it's a very good movie.
Yep.
However, Bruce Campbell was awesome in his.
He was great
cameo.
in that movie. He was great in that movie.
Yeah. Okay. So when Carpenter was offered the job for vampires, he was intrigued by the promise of making a horror western hybrid, something he wanted to do since the 70s. He made a deal with himself, make one more movie, and if it still wasn't fun, retire. He later went on to heavily enjoy his time directing vampires.
Nice.
Is that the last bit you have, Chad?
No, it is not, but I can take a break if you want to add something in.
I just want to have a question for you boys. What is your favorite Western film currently?
Oh, Tombstone.
Ooh.
There's no question.
I love Tombstone. I do. I love Tombstone. I love Young Guns a little better.
It has been a bit since I've watched Young Guns.
I as much as I love it, I gotta go with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. A classic Clint Eastwood. It's a brutal revenge movie.
That's Clint Eastwood.
What about you, boss?
Django, 1966.
Good pick. Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. I love it. The machine gun's awesome.
So, John Carpenter cast James Woods because he wanted his character Jack Crow to be as savage as the prey he's going after. Woods himself took interest in the project because it was something a bit different for him.
Well, yeah.
He had Kurt Russell and a few others he wanted to try out, but that's
actually my next bit. Funny you should say that. The search to find an actor to play Jack Crow proved to be difficult. His first choice was Kurt Russell, but he had to decline due to prior commitments. His next choice was R. Lee Ermey, but the studio declined the offer because they felt he lacked the star power.
That's bullshit.
That would have been fucking insane.
That would have been.
I don't think we would have had the one-liners.
No, but we would have had.
I don't know. We could have had some. We could have had some interesting one-liners from him.
Come on. The first one-liner I think of him is 5'9" and stack shit that high. I could see him doing something off of that. Come on, it's R. Lee Ermey, man. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting. Yeah,
that would have been really good. The studio offered Clint Eastwood, Tommy Lee Jones, and Danny Glover the role, all of whom declined. The next one, Dolph Lundgren, who was originally attached to play Crow before Carpenter took over, was asked to return, but this time as the villain, which he declined.
You know what he did prior to this? Like in the years leading up, he voiced Hades and Hercules.
Yes, he did.
He did Contact in 97. Let's see. Casino in 95.
He was in Casino?
Lester Diamond.
Who the fuck is that? I don't even see him. Now I gotta go watch it. You know, Michael Myers is in that, though, and you see him plain as day.
You know what's really funny is James Woods said when he went in to do the voice audition for Hades and Hercules, like all the other people that came in, they were doing this gravelly, I am Hades voice, and he just came in, he's like, "Hi, Hades, how you doing?" And he nailed it from there.
Yeah, and like we said, the hard way earlier, that was 91.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very different role.
Oh yeah, it's completely different if you look it up.
different.
I mean, even his work with Cronenberg, it's just completely different. So
he's very versatile.
Now he plays poker.
No, he doesn't really have to do anything now. He's retired.
He made it big. He's on Family Guy.
No, but that's just what he does. He plays in the World Series of Poker. If you watch that, he'll pop up every now and then.
Like Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Chucky was a pretty damn good show. I'm just saying.
I'm excited for Chucky 2.
Same.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good.
Continuing on, producer and John Carpenter's wife, Sandy King, cast Thomas Ian Griffith as Valak because they both wanted someone who looked formidable but is also alluring. There also has to be something alluring about the evil nature of the vampire itself.
He pulled the look off perfectly.
You know what he kind of has the vibes of? Candyman.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just with his stature and the way he like walks and shit. I just feel like he floats and stuff. It just felt feel like Candyman vibes. I don't know.
Not only that, the way he talks too, that
maybe it's the trench coat and the fucking 90s like color pastels just to make me feel like
And I love the design. It's so simple. It's just lighten the skin.
And I think traditionally the best vampires are the simple. Nosferatu, Klaus Kinski is Werner Herzog's Nosferatu. It's about the pale face, but with the elongated features and the more subtle approach to the characters, but along with the more
his fangs were long as fuck.
Yeah,
they weren't the regular little vampire. Those fucking fangs were long as shit.
Yeah.
And if you look at his face, you just see the little blue veins coming out.
That's what I was gonna get at.
All around.
It's just simple things like the veins that they did, where it's nothing.
It doesn't have to be intense,
but it worked, and it made him.
If you have an awesome actor behind it, you don't need all that shit.
It's Terry Silver. Come on.
But then again, you look at films like Blood Vessel, like that. What was that this year that came out? And that has heavy prosthetics for a vampire story, and that works as well. But I guess those are kind of like the head vampires, like before this fucking dude, still has the features of the bat and stuff.
Yeah.
Very much.
You got anything else for us, Chad Daddy?
I do. When Largo Entertainment approached Carpenter with his project, they gave him 2 scripts, one by Don Jacoby and another by Dan Mazer. Carpenter read the scripts and the novel and saw potential in the movie that he'd been interested in, which was do a Western disguised as a horror film. So he and his friend Larry Sulkis worked together to create a new screenplay, taking elements from both the scripts, the novel, and some of their own ideas, but Jacoby, for whatever reason, reserved sole writing credit.
Huh.
Now that's fucking strange.
That's weird.
So, do you know who briefly accepted the role of Montoya before Daniel Baldwin did?
Did they film stuff with him?
No.
Okay, who?
Alec Baldwin.
Whoa.
Oh.
He briefly accepted it before declining early in the pre-production and passed it on to his brother. Carpenter had not seen any of Daniel Baldwin's work, but had the actor read for him and hired him anyway.
There you
Chose
go.
Proper Baldwin on this one. Now, question for you. The Baldwin and Firefly, is that the same family?
No. They're not related.
No.
Okay.
He's probably the best Baldwin.
Probably.
These days.
These days, yep. Back when Russell Mulcahy was attached to direct, one possible idea was that the film would take place in a distant future
Whoa,
where a decent amount... Russell Mulcahy.
So Razorback, Rambo 3? Okay.
Yep. Supposed to be a decent amount of the human population turned into vampires, and vampire hunters are as abundant as police officers. The vampire hunters would have used futuristic high-tech gadgets and equipment to hunt down the vampires, who were plotting to take over the world by transforming the Pope into one of them. Dolph Lundgren was slated to play Jack Crow, while Willem Dafoe was being eyed to play Valak.
Whoa.
See, okay, I now want to know how he I do want to know.
Can we go to that part of the multiverse? Because I
The
want to
funny
see
thing
that
is,
fucking movie.
that plot sounds a lot like the movie Ultraviolet.
I believe they took inspiration from that part. I think. Yes.
I could see it.
I also love Russell, so that would have been awesome to see him be able to do something. And I believe that is in the same universe, Steve, where Chris Farley plays Shrek and is still alive.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I would have loved to have heard his voice too.
Right? We need to see some kind of version of that.
Would have been great. Oh boy. Continue.
Okay, the
What
symbol
else?
on the necklace that Daniel Baldwin wears in the movie is the Nordic rune meaning protector.
Interesting.
There are many similarities with this and another vampire film made the same year, Blade. Both are about a vampire killer, and they both have a similar plot of vampires trying to complete an arcane ritual that would allow them to move about in the daylight. They also both feature a female character slowly turning into a vampire throughout, and they both feature actor Tim Guinea.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh shit.
The MPAA took issue with the film's over-the-top violence, threatening to give it an NC-17 rating unless some of the gore was cut. Ultimately, only about 20 seconds was cut to get the R rating.
And there's Heather's answer. Oh, I don't know how much. 20 fucking seconds. Not
20
a big
seconds.
deal. Yeah.
20 fucking seconds.
Yeah, so I don't think her uncut version was really uncut.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Or it really mattered in the end. Yeah.
20 seconds.
The film opened at number 1, but dropped to number 8 on its second week. The film grossed $20 million in the U.S. on a $20.3 million on a $20 million budget, although worldwide numbers are not official. Carpenter stated the film was a massive success overseas, particularly in Japan, and pulled in well over its $20 million budget. It later went in to pull a further $42 million on home video rental and purchase.
There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, that's where it really makes its money.
That's where
Especially
most
at
of them...
this time.
Yeah, in this day and age, that's where movies are really successful, is the home video sales.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it was
Well,
a
then
good
the streaming
it was a
Well, at
successful
that period,
movie, so
not
it's a
now.
good thing.
Yeah. And finally, the film was originally released to varied critical reviews, appearing on both Best of the Year and Worst of the Year lists. Positive reviews were based on the film's acting, direction, and visual style, while negative reviews felt the film lacked a coherent plot or likable characters. Bullshit, James Woods was very likable.
Yeah.
Y'all go fuck yourself. He was more than likable.
Yeah, I don't know how you cannot look at the Laura Palmer character. Well, what is it? Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
She was
Katrina.
eye candy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course.
You know, she I guess because she was really the only female in the film, at first she wasn't that attractive, and then like throughout she starts getting more and more attractive.
I don't know. It's her eyes. Her eyes did it for me.
It's
Her
like
naked.
the Return of the Living Dead effect. Like the more she turns, the hotter she gets.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very bizarre.
Yes.
And then we were heartbroken to find out that was a bodysuit the whole time.
I'm sorry I ruined that for you. But it was behind the scenes and I had to tell you. So before we jump into, I had to tell you, if it was ruined for me, it had to be ruined for y'all.
That's not how you ruin it. Don't ruin Santa Claus for me.
So before we jump into our questions, Johnny D sent us a video. Let's take a peek.
What up, homies? It's your Fluff Master Supreme, Big Johnny D. I want to say first and foremost, I apologize I can't be there tonight, but I have other duties to step up to, aka my family. So luckily enough, I was able to sneak away for a moment, do this quick little vid, send to you guys. We were talking about 1998 John Carpenter's Vampires. What a fantastic fucking film. I haven't watched this shit in probably a decade, maybe even more. And I'm so glad I got to watch it. I'm sad I'm glad I got to watch it, but I'm sad I don't get to review it with you homies. But nonetheless, I watched it twice because that's how much I fucking love this film. James Woods absolutely delivers an amazing role, and his liners are just, I mean, what else can you say, dude? He's perfect. Baldwin, what the fuck is his name? Dan Baldwin. He plays a good role. I get all the Baldwins honestly confused besides Alec. Like, he's obviously the most known, but I think everybody does great roles. I love the set designs, the shots. Oh my God. The pan shots of just the landscapes in general. Beautiful. Anytime like they're driving up and you just get that great desert scene. I mean, you could tell Carpenter was going for a hard Western theme with this one, and he delivers it very well with the music, the locations, everything. Gore is perfect. Oh my God. Like, nasty as fuck. The vampires do great. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of vampires, but he does them perfect in this movie. And I know he didn't this actually spawns from a book or a novel. I've never personally read it. I kind of want to now, not gonna lie, just see where it goes. But man, Valak, he is just fucking badass, dude. His masters are awesome. When he first comes in that hotel and he just rips that motherfucker apart, that's probably my favorite kill in the whole movie. That shit was just, what a way to start that shit, dude. I mean, there's so many great ones, but what else to say? Best scene, honestly, like the hotel scene was great. There's so many good ones, but to me, it's the whole opening scene. The opening scene hooked me in, but it was my favorite scene, dude. When Woods is having the stare down with the house, and it's just that great Western stare down. Oh, it's perfect, dude. And he brings out his fucking band of marauders, and they got all their tools and weapons and shit, dude. They just look fucking badass. So all in all, great movie. Never seen it. Go fucking watch it. I'm gonna give this one a solid. Dude, I want to give it a 5 out of 5, like, just because I personally love it so much. But if I was gonna say like legit movie, dude, like, I'm gonna say fuck it, 4.8 out of 5. I'm gonna go that high. So maybe you guys think that's too high, maybe you don't. I don't really give a shit. That's what my score is, 4.8. Love you guys. Sorry I couldn't be there. I will definitely, hopefully, be there next week unless some crazy emergency happens again. But other than that, deuces.
Yeah.
Word.
Absolutely.
And before people start worrying, it's not like it's like a really seriously bad emergency that Johnny had to attend to.
Yeah, he just had some stuff.
There wasn't like a death in the family or anything like that.
No, nothing of that nature. Thank God.
All right, boys. So let's move on to our questions.
Yeah.
What format did you guys watch this on?
DVD.
I actually watched it on the Stars app because I figured, why pay $3 to rent it on Prime if I could get 2 months of Stars for 99 cents a month, save a buck? You know, fuck it, why not?
Go. Boss man.
Upscaled 4K from the Scream Factory Blu-ray.
Yeah, you sexy bitch. Of course you did. And I watched it on the lowest possible quality that I could have watched it on. I popped in my fucking VHS and I watched it on VHS.
That's great.
How'd
that feel though?
It felt great, man. Like, just, you know, it's like listening to a record as opposed to an MP3. There's just something about that, you know.
I disagree. I disagree on the comparison only because records sound so much more than digital, so much better than digital.
But it's the nostalgia factor for me.
I understand that. I know that's where you're trying to go.
And like I said, watching this film as a teenager with my dad all the time, and I just was right back in that zone, you know, with the VHS. So I was all about the VHS. So next question, douche of the film.
Alec? Or no, Cardinal.
Fuck that guy.
What the fuck does he call him? Oh, god damn it. He calls him a specific goddamn insult. And I just looked it up on the interwebs here. I Googled the internet.
A pile of dog shit, I think, is one of them.
Yeah.
A steaming pile of dog shit.
You are truly a pile of dog shit, Cardinal. Yep.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, sums up perfectly what he was and his character. Favorite kill?
The finger thing.
Yeah.
The finger slice.
Yeah, Detective Flask getting sliced in half.
You know, K&B did this, and they definitely didn't take the idea from a film they did 3 years earlier.
No, certainly not. Probably the same. They certainly did not take it from a film 4 years earlier. They certainly did not. No, not one bit. Guys, we have that body double over there, right? Yeah.
Let's just change the head. Look, can we just change the head?
Just change the head. Give him.
Yeah,
don't give
go.
him.
In actuality, if you would have swung the camera, he has tits.
Probably. Actually, the priest, when he literally the guy's got the shotgun in his hand and he forces it under his own chin.
Even though you don't see the kill, it's still very effective with just that blood splatter on the
How
ceiling.
much you want to bet that's probably the 20 seconds?
You know what's pretty effective? Like one of the more effective kills, especially on the vampire end, is that first vampire when they drag him outside and you get to see him explode.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool because it's really like your first like fuck, it's a vampire hunter movie and it's that level.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And the way it burned, it looked really sulfuric. It was like yellow flames.
Yeah, the flames changed colors. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't just one kind of, flame and then boom, explosion. You actually got to see these things catch on fire before.
That's what separates these vampires from other ones.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna go with the Cardinal's death just because it was such a satisfying moment when the father shot him in the back. Like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Best scene.
The massacre scene and then the subsequent burning of the hotel.
Yeah, definitely the massacre.
Nah, for me it's the whole third act. I mean, the whole movie's got the whole third act of them trying to get the masters.
I like the hotel scene, the motel scene, of course, but I like the scene that follows after where Jack goes back and
it's just
beheads
so
everybody. It's just it's an emotional scene without being like overly dramatic, but he had to go back and basically make sure his friends, his team, his brothers did not turn.
And then the way it transitions from emotional moment to, hey, James Woods is going to get his action movie moment to having it burn up and explode in the background.
I mean,
that's just so cool.
Yes, and that has always been one of my favorite walk away scenes when because you see him kind of wince just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, and he's just like
a little bit, like fuck, like but that
was loud
right there. That's my favorite scene.
I'm gonna change my answer. My favorite scene was at the end when they roll into the town and you see it's a complete ghost town, it's deserted, and it dawns on you that everybody's either dead or is a vampire, and that is a very Western scene right there.
Yeah.
It's like in High Plains Drifter when they rock up in the middle of the night. Yeah. Or In God Said to Cain, which is the Italian version of High Plains Drifter. Holy fuck, Chad.
Sorry.
John, fix it, John. So, boys, did the opening scene hook you in?
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Absolutely,
Yes, it
Padre.
did.
All the way around, yeses. So, most attractive character.
Laura Palmer.
James Woods.
Those two asses walking in frame towards the hotel. No, I'll go with Cheryl Crow, but those asses were nice.
I'm gonna go a different route, and I'm gonna go with Valak because vampires are fucking sexy, and that he had the look, and that to me, the most attractive character.
If you want me to say one, the one female master vampire who was hanging on the bottom of the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
That hair. She. Yeah.
there's something wrong with him.
She turned out to be a crispy critter.
She could bite me anytime.
So did the score set the mood?
Oh, absolutely. This is not only did the score set the mood, this is one of my favorite John Carpenter scores. I even have it on CD somewhere. It's packed away right now, but yeah, it's fantastic. That was probably that's probably my favorite part of the movie.
And it's very Western too.
Yes, it is.
It's simple.
Modern, very for
modern
the time Western.
Yeah.
It's good.
And it's simple and it worked very well. Best song?
The opening song, the down.
Yeah, the theme.
Their theme. Babe, I don't know what it's called, but
I don't know what the soundtrack is.
I could remember it. I could look it up. I don't have it though right here.
The song that plays anytime Jack Crow's about to do some badass shit. That's the best song. Who was your favorite character, fellas?
Really?
Montoya.
Okay.
Jack Crow. I'm not.
Just
I'm
to
going
be different.
I'm not. I can't be different. Jack Crow. Sorry.
I'm gonna say the father.
I think I was gonna say the father too.
The second father.
You got to say one of the supporting characters, because what is a vampire hunter without his team?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
buddy. Yeah,
true.
Like Montoya, he's
I got a kick out of the Padre.
But Montoya was a great character, especially after getting bitten 2 days before all this shit happened, and he still kept his cool and still backed his boy up.
By the way, right after she bit him and he hits her, the first time I saw it, me and my buddy Kevin looked at each other. I'm like, oh, imagine that, a Baldwin slapping a hooker.
Art imitating life.
Not that we advocate slapping any woman of any kind.
Jesus
No.
But
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, wait.
it was just a funny thing to say. It was a
Oh,
product of its
Jesus.
time. Don't hate me.
But we do support intergender wrestling. Which
Yes,
is completely
intergender
different.
wrestling is fine.
So,
Yeah, it was-
get in the whole rabbit hole here.
All right. Was it scary?
I
I think at
mean,
times.
when
I
they
think
go
at
in
times.
that den at the beginning, that shit's pretty fucking rad. Brody mentioned earlier in his little video that the cinematography is just meh. But you know that
I would
opening,
disagree with that.
that opening's pretty fucking effective, and for the setting that they had it in, it seemed pretty. You know what I mean? Like, how do you want to describe it? Almost like the Hitchcock house. Like the house seemed scary itself.
To me, this is any rundown house that you see in driving across Texas. That's all I can. You know what I mean? I don't know where
being
they
a
filmed this.
guy from Texas, yeah,
New
of course.
Mexico.
I don't know. I don't know where they filmed it. Well, New Mexico as well. You know, you see these rundown houses that are just there. Nobody lives there, and I mean, it works for what they were setting up, because who knows? Maybe there are fucking vampires there. We'll talk about that on Somewhat Supernatural, but who knows? Who knows?
Vampires in film.
Vampires in film. Another spinoff. Does it hold up today?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Extremely.
Especially as one of
Extremely
the
well.
more, in my opinion, one of the more stand-out Carpenter films.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's so different from everything else he does. Like They Live stands out for him, like this one does as well. The same way Escape from New York does.
Yeah.
It's just completely a different genre from what he's known for. You know, of course, Halloween.
Which I
Never
think,
heard of it.
I mean, most people attribute. You know, you
Halloween,
say John.
yeah.
If you were to ask anybody, what John Carpenter, you know, what's your favorite John Carpenter movie? Oh, Halloween. You know, majority of the people will say that. But this,
See, I've actually heard The Thing more than Halloween, I will say.
Well, a true horror fan would say The Thing. A casual horror film fan is going to say Halloween.
And a Carpenter fan would be like, all of them?
All of them. Every single
all
one.
of them? No matter how good or bad they are.
How was that?
If we're talking like just favorite Carpenter film overall, my favorite's actually probably Big Trouble in Little China.
I would say Escape from New York, actually.
That's a really good one too.
You know, I saw Escape from LA before I saw Escape from New York.
So did I.
Can I say Halloween too?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, he's involved with it. Although he calls it an abomination, and he has ever since. But what are you gonna do?
I always enjoyed it. I don't care.
It's not an abomination. That's just him
He's being
at the
overly
time.
dramatic.
That's him at the time.
That's only because he did not want to make Michael Laurie's brother.
And that was after a night of drinking.
Well, that's for another podcast. How was the acting?
Oh, yeah,
fantastic.
great.
Superb.
I mean, what do we want to say that we haven't said already about it?
I feel that Valak, the actor that plays Valak, had very minimal lines in this film, but he said a lot without saying.
If I remember correctly, he only had
anything.
18 lines.
Like I said at the top of the show, it's about being subtle, but also delivering a very believable performance. You know, it's about doing most of it with your body. So
yes,
yeah.
How did you like the cinematography, fellas? We already kind of touched on that, but
I think it's not like the great. It's no fucking Halloween 2. It's not him working with Dean Cundy. Okay, it's Carpenter doing a 90s movie, and it's above average because the movie fucking rocks. The movie is an action, horror, comedy, Western amalgamation of awesome, and the cinematography complements that in every way. Like we talked about earlier, we referenced that scene where Jack's walking away from the motel as it's blowing up. That was fucking awesome, but that's a traditional action movie shot. But at the same time, we also referenced the Hitchcockian style suspense that we got in the abandoned house in the beginning, because that was scary. So this film gives us like this buffet of different types of situations that allow the cinematographer, whoever the fuck it is, who we say, Gary Kibb, who also did RoboCop 3. That doesn't make no fucking sense.
No, it really doesn't, actually. Now that you say it, That set in the second time you said, like, wait, that doesn't make sense.
Well, he clearly got his shit together by this one because this film's definitely fucking great.
Oh yes,
I mean,
RoboCop
it's
3.
scary and it's effective when it needs to be. Yeah.
Yep. Did you guys like the premise?
Yeah,
Oh,
love
yeah.
it. I love it
Isn't-
so much. I love it so much that I actually, like you guys, want to find the book now and read it to see how.
Isn't
different
there
it
a
is.
shot where they go through the motel after the slaughter to show everything?
Yeah, when he's cleaning up.
Yeah, that's right.
Then that's
You
why
just
I
don't
said
see
it's.
you just don't see all the bodies on the floor, but you see him doing what he has to
And
do.
that might have been another scene where they cut some of that 20 seconds.
Good point.
So it
I
might
would
have been
say-
the shotgun blast
and
showing the
that
father's head
scene.
exploding, and then the cleanup. A couple seconds here and there.
You could see that.
All right, boys, we are on to the 4 R's: recycle, rewind, remake, or reboot. Chat Daddy.
I'm going to say rewind and reboot. I'd like to see more of this.
Fuck. Rewind and not reboot, but rework into a TV series
with James Woods.
With James Woods, only in a character where they go to later in the season and they need his help for something. So, like, this is just like a modern vampire hunting team in that same universe that John Carpenter established. And
Okay,
then
but
they can go to these characters for help.
I would love to see that, but only if they kind of steal from the recent 2018 Halloween and John Carpenter, or not, but James Woods has all these, he's like a recluse and has all these traps and everything set up.
I could see that.
I think that would work.
Now, in doing that, did he kill Montoya or did he let Montoya live? Because
Remember,
he
Shaun
gave
of the
him 2
Dead
days.
situation where they put him in his fucking shed.
I think he found him and killed him.
I think he did too. Otherwise, he's responsible for any future deaths.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then again, James Woods doesn't really care.
I would rewind, not reboot. Give me a better sequel where it starts off with finding Montoya.
That was the sequel I always wanted. Was him actually going and finding Montoya? Because I feel like, I know he's saying I'm giving you 2 days. We're giving you 2 days head start. But I feel that Montoya knows him so well that he would be able to evade him. And so it wouldn't be an outright kill right away. It would take him time before they ever cross paths again. I would say rewind and reboot into a series. I like that idea of a series where we get a new team or teams of, the Catholic Church reworked itself, and now there's more teams because, that it's gotten out of control even more. And they have to find Jack because something happens or the Black Cross returns or whatever the case. And they
Vampires,
find Jack.
the Black Cross. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
So
somebody contact us for our ideas, because we got some good ideas on here.
How about this? They have to contact Jack because the new vampire master is Montoya.
The real question is will James Wood work in Hollywood again? And then that's the real question for any of this to happen. Okay, let's rate it.
I'll start it off. And like I said last week, I already gave my score for this film. I gave it a 5.
Okay. 4.75 for me.
5. Can't. 5. It's tough.
Make it realistic, Chad, for us.
I'm gonna give it 4.25.
There you go.
I mean, it's not my favorite, but I still really enjoyed it.
What's that average?
0.8 plus 5. Sorry.
Do you have all the scores?
I do.
Okay.
28.1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 6. 4.68. So
that's actually very, very, very.
I'll round that up to 4.7.
There you go.
Very fair.
Very fair.
So fair.
Very fair. So, what do we have coming up next week? Chad Daddy, hit us with that.
Next week, we continue our vampire love fest with a big Johnny D pick of Stakeland.
That's a good film.
I have not watched it, so I'm excited to watch it.
It's so
I've never
good.
seen it either.
That and the sequel is so fucking good.
Yeah,
The color's okay. It has that what that 2010s color for horror films that I can't stand. That weird they sucked all
Darkness.
where they sucked all the life out of the colors and stuff. But other than that, the story told, the acting and the sets and just it's phenomenal shit.
Did they make that into a series, or am I thinking of something else?
Something else. They might have done mini webisodes or some shit with it, but
I'm kind of curious now. I want to look that up.
Danielle Harris is in it.
Ooh,
Adult Danielle Harris.
I haven't seen it, but I'm excited to watch it.
Yes, that's going to be a fun movie to watch.
Yes, and that is available for free on pretty much everything.
Shudder.
Amazon Prime, Vudu, Tubi, Peacock, Pluto. It's on Shudder, you say?
I think that's where I watched it first.
Alrighty.
Shudder just got both Andy Warhol films. I know this is part of your normal show, so I'll just talk about it now. Shudder got both Andy Warhol / Paul Morrissey films, both Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula today.
Nice.
So if you're looking to see some like art house, black comedy horror films, check out both of those because it's fucking Warhol, baby, but it's not. It's Paul Morrissey. Warhol was on set and was like, yeah, that looks good.
So, fellas, do we have anything for nerd news?
I would just like to say that, as we previously talked about last week, the Ghostbusters Afterlife 4K set
$100
is down to $100 now, which
nice.
means that the wife will allow me to buy it.
Lovely.
I mean,
Bravo?
yeah. I didn't really. All right, for me, I didn't really find too many interesting things this week.
Yeah.
Not really much stood out as nerd news that I know there would be people like, oh shit, not too many different things.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about the end of the year is most places, instead of, they don't really report. There's not much to report. So they're usually doing an end of year wrap up, the best of the last year and looking forward to the oncoming year. And there's not really anything that we haven't really touched on that I don't think.
The only thing I would say that's like coming up is Toy Fair in February.
Mhm.
So I know NECA is definitely going to have some really cool new shit. And Mezco has been advertising small things for certain things coming soon. So I'm sure we'll get some package reveals and some figure reveals for that. But that's about it. But that's a month away. So as that gets closer, because I watch that shit like a hawk. So
do I.
We'll keep an eye out for that in a month.
Recently, Vinegar Syndrome dropped their January titles, and Severn announced their February titles. I actually got some Vincent titles. They have the Forgotten Giallo box set number 4 from them just got dropped as well. And they released a bunch of shot on video stuff with their partner labels. So they have their normal website, and then they have a section called partner labels. And it's all these like companies that are partnered with Vinegar Syndrome that create, like, even like Steve was talking about crazy genres earlier. So like super niche genre stuff, like off of that.
Oh, nice.
Like the Altered Innocence one, I think, is like mostly like gay in LGBTQ films. And then they have things like Saturn's Core, which is like mostly shot on video horror films. And then they have Terror Vision, which is more like the shot on video, but it's more like regional type stuff. And they have a whole assortment of things like that. They just released Summer of '84 and The Last Matinee, which are relatively new films, but they're giving them 4K releases. So it's nice to see stuff like that is going on.
Well, the only bits of nerd news that I have is, and this one's kind of a personal one, but the very, very horrible movie that I am in is getting a Blu-ray release now. I was just notified today.
No shit.
So Paranoia Tapes 5, I forget what the subtitle is. It is getting a Blu-ray release, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. The only other one that I have to mention, and I would like to get TJ's input on this, is DC is supposedly rebooting the Justice League with Batwoman and Supergirl taking the spots of Batman and Superman after the Flash movie. as the new Trinity. It will be Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Supergirl.
Maybe.
And what do you think?
Well, we have not been introduced to any of these characters yet, other than Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So honestly, all we can do as DC fans is be optimistic and have faith in sense that they've delivered in the last 3 films, that maybe we can actually get something decent out of them with this. So we can look at it as a negative way, but we haven't seen any of these characters on screen yet. So I will wait to pass judgment. And if it's garbage, it'll just make the Snyder films look even better in comparison. So you can look at it that way. And all hail Zack Snyder and what should have been.
Yes, sir. All right, so I guess that is it for episode 170 of the Gore and More podcast. Let's start this bitch off clockwise. Chad Daddy, get it?
This is your Dark Lord of Knowledge, your Chad Daddy, saying, see you next week, bitches.
What's clockwise? It's in me.
You're
and
next,
this is the pod boss, TJ Bowser, stopping in. See you later.
This is your Killing Machine Bobby Ramone saying Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week, you fuckers.
And this is your Lord Scuba Cabra, the Prince of the Paranormal, the Duke of the Dead, the host with the ghost, saying, see you later, bitches, and stay fresh, cheese bags.
Yeah.
It's a mahogany antique wood, people.